When did the name change, and why did it change?
Well, I changed it to USA Network in 1980. Who remembers Do You Believe in Miracles?
Miracle on Ice was
The
before
Miracle
all they
on
were
Ice.
born, but Miracle on
Is
Ice.
it? Oh,
yeah.
you couldn't remember
Thanks, Jim.
it. Did you ever? Oh, thank you. You couldn't remember it. You weren't born. I mean, you know. But I thought maybe somebody in the sports world would know about this. But anyway, it was a year that the USA hockey team won the gold medal, beat the Russians.
Lake Placid.
Lake Placid, yeah. And it was and everybody was chanting in this Lake Placid Stadium, USA. US, as they always do, you know, it's kind of, and I had already changed the name, but I hadn't announced it yet. And I remember I was skiing at the time. I was in Snowbird. And I came in from the slopes to watch this hockey game because it was so important. I mean, I am a sports fan. And I just, that moment, just inside that restaurant at Snowbird, and everybody on the TV at Lake Placid just screaming USA, and the people joined in. And I thought, yes, that's my network. Used to be a country. I learned something though, very hard to trademark.
Sure.
Because it is a country. But I did it anyway, and you know, I sort of did it on the basis it was the company that had financed it in the beginning and was a primary owner of it was UA Columbia Satellite Associates, and it sort of had a USA worked out for that purpose too. But the reason I did it, and I don't know if that I would do the same thing today, but I did it because I wanted everybody to believe it was their network. And I just thought that this was just sort of a patriotic kind of thing where people could get involved in it. You know, I was so motivated by everybody cheering USA. I thought, oh, well, you know, that's really great. And it's funny story is my husband and my brother argue about who suggested it to me in the first place. I let them both think they did. What the heck? I mean, you know, like everybody happy. But we all discussed it, and I don't actually remember who raised it first, but that's what we did. We named it USA, and I had to defend it. I had to go to court to defend it a number of times.
Against whom?
USA, the paper.
Oh, okay, USA Today.
USA Today.
Not the United States of America, though, right?
No, the United States of America never challenged us on it, but it was the newspaper was launched. I think it was 1981. It was about that same time. Gannett started the newspaper. And then they named televisions, they named the Denver station KUSA and the Washington station WUSA. And so I had to go to court to try to protect my trademark. And we filed in Denver because that's where they first announced it. And we went on to challenge the USA Today in court. Actually the television station, KUSA, because I was concerned that they were going to change all of their television stations to USA, and they would preempt us because they were bigger than we were. I mean, if they put all their television stations together, they were bigger than us, and I was afraid that, you know, we would lose that battle. So you really have to think about protecting your trademarks and stuff like that, your copyrights and trademarks if you're in any kind of business that needs to be trademarked, but certainly the media business. And we lost. We lost in court. It was a hometown decision. The judge had been in the bankruptcy courts for 16 years. This was his first case outside of bankruptcy court, and he was just in the general court. He was the best friend of the station manager, and of course it didn't have any bearing on the decision. But you know, I wasn't going to go my way. I could see that. So I called up the CEO of Gannett at the time, and I said, you know, and I knew him. I mean, we knew each other. And I said, you know, I'm going to file an appeal. So I thought I would just let you know I'm going to file an appeal because I don't think this is a fair decision. We had to defend our trademark. And he said, well, what did you want? What do you want to prove with that? And I said, I want to protect USA Network trademark for a television network. a cable television network, but I've got to protect it. And he said, well, what would give you satisfaction? And I said, I don't want you naming, USA Network for your television stations. And it was an interesting conversation, and he said, well, actually, we're not going to do that. And I said, great, then I want a settlement. I won't go to file on the appeal. I just like a written settlement between us that will bar Gannett from naming their television stations USA Network for 10 years. And then we're free. And he said, I'd do that. I don't intend to do it, and I'll sign it. So I got a 10-year protection. And so after that, we were very big, and they wouldn't do it. But it's an interesting, I hadn't thought about it in all these years. It's a kind of an interesting
You just
sidebar.
lost. You just lost.
Yeah, but I don't
And
take
then-
a loss as, as a final decision.
Well, in the courts, it
Yeah.
wasn't. But no,
Yeah.
what I'm saying,
Yeah.
you sort of, on the heels of being told they're
Yeah.
right, you're wrong, you got what you wanted anyway.
Right.
Through negotiation.
So I negotiated for that.
Very good.
So it's kind of a little lesson, and there's always a different way to look at things, and I think you always have to take what you're thinking and you find a little barrier here. You're always going to find impediments and barriers, and you just got to turn it a little bit, look at it from a different direction, and figure out a different way. There is almost always a solution if you want to look for it.